Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out you've just won the lottery. Not a small amount, but life-changing money. Enough to never worry about bills again. Enough to quit your job, travel the world, help your family, and finally live the life you've always imagined. For a moment, everything feels solved. All the stress, all the pressure, all the what-ifs about your future, they disappear instantly. And it's not just about the money. It's about what that money represents. Freedom, security, control. You can finally breathe. And if you're being honest, you've probably thought about this before. Maybe not seriously, but at least in passing. What would I do if I won? How would my life change? It's one of those fantasies that feels almost universal. Because deep down, most people believe that more money is the solution to most of their problems. But here's the part that doesn't make sense at first. A shocking number of lottery winners, people who suddenly receive millions, end up going broke within a few years. Not just less rich, but completely broke. Some even end up worse off than before they won. And when you hear that, it feels confusing. Maybe even impossible. How do you lose that much money? How do you go from having everything to having nothing again? It sounds like a story about bad decisions, lack of discipline, or just pure irresponsibility. But the truth is much deeper than that, because this isn't just about lottery winners. It's about a pattern that exists in all of us. And if you don't understand it, it doesn't matter whether you win the lottery or just slowly earn more money over time, you can end up in the exact same place. Let's break this down in a simple way. When someone wins the lottery, they don't just gain money, they experience a massive sudden increase in their financial capacity. But their habits, their mindset, and their understanding of money don't instantly upgrade with it. So what happens is a mismatch. On one side, you have a huge amount of money. On the other side, you have the same decision-making patterns that were built when money was limited. And those patterns don't disappear, they scale. If someone is used to spending everything they earn, they don't suddenly become a saver just because they have more. They simply spend at a larger scale. This is where the math starts to matter. Imagine someone wins $5 million. It sounds like an endless amount of money, but it's not. If they start spending $200,000 a year, which can happen quickly with a bigger house, luxury cars, travel, and helping others, that money begins to shrink fast. And that's without even considering poor investments, taxes, or people around them asking for financial support. Now layer in something even more powerful, lifestyle inflation. As spending increases, it becomes the new normal. What once felt like luxury now feels like baseline. And once your baseline rises, it's incredibly hard to go back down. So even as the money decreases, the lifestyle stays the same until it can't anymore. And that's when everything collapses. The key idea here is that money isn't just about how much you have, it's about the relationship between what you have and how you use it. If that relationship doesn't change, the outcome doesn't change. The numbers might be bigger, but the pattern stays the same. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because this isn't just a personal failure. It's not just about individuals making bad choices. There are systems at play that make this outcome more likely than you think. First, there's psychology. Humans are not wired to handle sudden, extreme changes in resources. When something feels abundant, our brains naturally loosen control. We become more generous, more impulsive, and more focused on the present. It's not stupidity, it's how we're built. Then there's social pressure. When someone wins the lottery, their entire environment changes. Friends, family, even strangers may start treating them differently. Expectations rise, requests for money appear. And saying no becomes emotionally difficult. Because now, it's not just about money, it's about relationships. And beyond that, there's a lack of financial education. Most people are never taught how to manage large amounts of money. They're not shown how to preserve wealth, how to invest properly, or how to think long-term. So when they suddenly receive millions, they're expected to manage it without the tools to do so. And finally, there's the system itself. The world is designed to encourage spending, not preservation. Luxury markets, advertising, status symbols, they all become more accessible the moment you have money. And because success is often measured by what you display, not what you keep, the pressure to spend becomes even stronger. So when lottery winners go broke, it's not just because they messed up. It's because they were placed into a situation where their habits, psychology, and environment were all working against them at the same time. Now here's the part that matters most to you. You might be thinking, that's interesting, but I'm not a lottery winner. And that's exactly the point. Because you don't need to win the lottery to fall into the same trap. The only difference is speed. Lottery winners experience it instantly. Most people experience it slowly, over years. Every time your income increases, you face the same choice they did. Upgrade your lifestyle or strengthen your future. And most of the time, without even realizing it, people choose the first option. A slightly better apartment. A newer phone. More frequent spending. It feels harmless because it's gradual. But over time, the pattern is identical. Income goes up, expenses follow, and the gap never grows. And that gap, that difference between what you earn and what you keep, is where financial security actually comes from. So the lesson here isn't don't spend money or live extremely cheap. It's much more practical than that. It's about awareness. It's about understanding that money doesn't fix patterns, it amplifies them. If you build strong habits when you have little, they scale when you have more. If you build weak habits, those scale too. So the real exit strategy is to focus on the pattern, not the amount. Start by creating a gap, even a small one, between what you earn and what you spend. Then protect that gap as your income grows. Automate it if you can, so it happens without relying on willpower. And most importantly, resist the urge to let every increase in income immediately upgrade your lifestyle. Because once something becomes normal, it's very hard to reverse. In the end, the story of lottery winners going broke isn't just surprising, it's a mirror. It shows what happens when money grows faster than awareness. And it reminds you that financial stability isn't about how much you receive, it's about how you respond to it. You don't need millions to build a secure future. You just need to avoid the pattern that destroys it. Because whether it happens all at once or slowly over time, the outcome is the same. And once you see that clearly, you're in a position most people never reach. You're no longer just hoping money will solve your problems. You're building a system that actually can.